Hi, VC. Cindy here from Mama Bear Vinyl, and I'm making a video today for a contest that Rob Walker is having. And his channel is Rob Walker Let the Music Play. And he just reached a milestone. He has over 100 subscribers. And so he's having a fun contest going on where I think he calls it Give Me Five. So he wants you to feature 5 albums, kind of talk about him, and that's the entry to his contest. So many great contests going on right now. But I wanted to take time and enter Rob's contest because I really like his channel. He has a great channel. He's fairly new to the VC. He's a new kid on the block. But obviously the content of his videos is very good, and he's kind of screaming up the charts there with his subscribers. So when I was thinking about what 5 records to feature, it was kind of hard. And so I was thinking maybe of going with a theme. I know DJ High Noon has a contest going on too, and hopefully I'll be able to enter that one also. So I went ahead and went with the theme. And all the records I'm going to be featuring today, the 5 albums, I purchased in 1987. So in 1987, that was my senior year in high school. It was also the last year that I was really purchasing vinyl records. After that, it was either cassettes, and then I got my first new car in 1990, and so then I had a CD player, so I started buying CDs. And so for many years, it was CDs, and then in around 2013, 2014, I went to my first record store day and got that vinyl bug again and just started purchasing vinyl albums. So today, the 5 albums I'm going to feature, I'm featuring albums that maybe Rob would find interesting. It seems like he was into kind of synth and new wave back in the 80s. 87, I think he was more into the darker, like Depeche Mode or the Smiths. And none of these albums are in that vein. But these are albums I've never really saw on the VC. So these are 5 albums. Maybe you forgot about that band. They only maybe had 1 or 2 hits off the album I'm going to show. But they're ones I purchased in 87. And I think they're good albums. So the first one I'm going to feature is by a band that you probably best known by their song Birds Fly, also Whisper to a Scream. And that album came out in the early 80s. I do have that album. But the one I'm featuring today is I believe it was their 3rd album that they released. And it's the Icicle Works. And the name of the album, If You Want to Defeat Your Enemy, Sing His Song. So some great philosophical advice right there from the Icicle Works. A great album. Some of the hits off the album were Understanding Jane, Evangeline, Who Do You Want for Your Love. So there were some good singles off of this album. The Icicle Works, they're an English, I would say they're like one of the forefathers of alternative rock. I think they started out more, kind of had like a punk, new wave, kind of, I feel like kind of that's how they started out. But this is definitely, I feel like a really good, solid alt rock album. And, just some really great songs on this one, the Icicle Works. And I don't do needle drops because I'm not sure quite how to edit yet. My daughter, next time I see her, she said she would help me. She graduated, she's a journalism major graduate and mass communication, so this kind of social media thing. That's kind of her thing. So I'm going to have to get some tips from her, which is the least she can do since we paid for her college education. So I did something different though. So all 5 albums that I'm featuring, I'll put a link. I made a little playlist with a video from each of the albums. So you can kind of get a taste of the music that's being shown by clicking on the link below for the playlist, or you can go to my channel and under playlist, there'll be a little folder there. So the second album is by an Australian synth band. I kind of like their synth pop, I feel like. And the name of it is, the band is Icehouse, and the name of the album is Man of Colors. And this was such a great album. The biggest hits off of it, I would say, were Crazy and Electric Blue. This is off the Chrysalis label. And actually, the song Electric Blue is one of my favorites. And Iva Davis, and he co-wrote the song with John Oates from Hall & Oates. And just a really great song. And so that is my second album, Icehouse. And the third album this is the debut album for this band, and I really love them. I only have one album by them. I really like what they were doing. And the name of the band is The Silencers, A Letter from St. Paul. And so the Silencers were kind of a Scottish, I would say they're like alt-rock, kind of alternative rock band. I think they started out in the scene kind of like a pub-style band, and they're a Scottish band, but they formed in London, so, but you can really kind of get like a Celtic vibe from them, also like folk, and if you can see some of their songs there. The big hits off of this album were Painted Moon, which I think was actually released before the album was released. I think that single was released in 86, but the album came out in 87. And also Icy Red was another single off the album. But definitely just a really good band. If you like Big Country or the Proclaimers, Simple Minds, they kind of have that same feel. So really great band, The Silencers. So the fourth album I'm going to feature, they are a British rock band. You could kind of get like a rockabilly vibe to them, or also like punk, but not like hardcore punk. When I was looking at these albums, I was just like, wow, I just have an interesting taste in music. But I really love these guys. And the name of the band is the Screaming Blue Messiahs. And this album is Bikini Red. And they're a trio. And one of their big songs off of this album is I Want to Be a Flintstone, and maybe you remember that song. Also, Sweetwater Pools was another big, was a single from them. I wouldn't say it was a big hit. On the link below the videos that I feature, I went ahead and featured the song Bikini Red because I really love that song. Great song. So my fourth album, The Screaming Blue Messiahs, Bikini Red. And the last album I want to feature, you might not have heard of this band before, but they started out as another band, at least half of them, or even like 2/3 of the members of this band started out as the Payolas. And you might not know that name, the Payolas, but you'd probably definitely know the song Eyes of a Stranger, which was featured on the Valley Girls soundtrack. And that song, Eyes of a Stranger, was a huge hit for them. And it was produced by Mick Ronson, go figure. And just a really great song. I would love to have that album. I think it's Stranger No Danger that song came off of. But members Rock and Hyde formed a duo in 1987 and came out with Rock and Hyde Under the Volcano. And actually, the other two guys from Paola's, I'm sorry, I should have researched it. I don't remember their names, but they play on this album too. So it's Rock and Hyde, but it also is kind of the Paolas. So the big hits off of this one, well, not hits, but singles that maybe charted were Under the Volcano, Dirty Water, and I Will. This is just such a great album. It's off of Capitol EMI, and they're a Canadian band, so they came out of that Canadian pub scene, and I would classify them kind of like an alternative, I would say alt rock type of thing. I think they started with new wave roots, of course, with the Paolas, but definitely kind of alternative rock. So a really good album. So I'd like to say congratulations again to Rob for meeting that milestone of over 100 subscribers, and his subscriber count is just screaming up the charts. And he features some great music. So if you're not already subscribed to his channel, please, subscribe to his channel. And just as a reminder, there's going to be a link below for a playlist with 5 videos on it for the 5 albums I featured. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you all have a great day. Thanks. Bye.